Hello everybody, this is Jurassic Adventures, back again with another video, and in this video we are going to be comparing my Hammond Concepts to the actual figures that released. If you haven't watched any of my previous Hammond Concept videos, what it is it's just basically Photoshop edits I have done of upcoming Hammond Collection figures before we actually got images of them and just showing how they might look. But enough talking, this is Hammond Concepts vs. Reality. Up first we have the first Hammond concept I ever did, and this is going to be the Brachiosaurus. This one I wasn't too serious about just because I didn't know that I was going to start making an entire series about this, and I gave it sort of this weird segmented neck and also a paint scheme that is more similar to like the Brachiosaurus at night with those sort of purple tones, a little bit more airbrushing and just some articulation all around, and called it a day. However, multiple people commented on my post saying a rubber neck might make more sense, and honestly I agreed. And now that takes us to the actual final product that just got leaked, which is the Hammond Collection Brachiosaurus. This one packs in just as much size as the legacy counterpart, however this one has a articulated rubber neck, articulated legs, and also an articulated tail with also more rubber. I predicted the feet right and also kind of the tail. Also the eye as well. It features a glass eye that is two-toned and is brown and black, so that will be really cool, but otherwise the neck is something that I really did not predict very well, and also the rubber neck just makes more sense even if it does have some of this folding, which you can see in this shot. And there are plenty of pictures of this thing out of the box, and I think it looks really great. So overall, my concept versus the reality, I think the reality is better. My concept has definitely a bit of a different paint scheme with a bit more paint and airbrushing and stuff like that, but I think overall that this final product that we got from Mattel is looking really great, and I cannot wait to get this figure in hand. Next up is the METRIACANTHOSAURUS, and this one features a much improved sculpt over that mainline version, and also the JWE/Jurassic World website paint scheme. I thought that only made sense for this figure, because what else were they supposed to paint this thing as? This is material that we got multiple times, and this color scheme we've seen multiple times, but Mattel decided that they had other plans for this figure, and so here is the final METRIACANTHOSAURUS from Mattel. As far as the sculpt goes, I think I predicted that rather well, and I think that they did a great job of sort of representing how we've seen the METRIACANTHOSAURUS sculpt-wise portrayed throughout some of the Jurassic content that we already have. However, moving into the paint, this one is very interesting as it's not necessarily a Jurassic World METRIACANTHOSAURUS like I had previously thought. Instead, rather, it is a Jurassic Park METRIACANTHOSAURUS, so that's why it has this sort of odd paint scheme. But this figure looks really great. I have it in hand here, so I'm just going to show how it actually looks in hand. I painted in the brown pupil black because that is one of the biggest flaws I see with this figure. These fingernails and toenails are painted actually, which makes it look very nice. And the tail is of decent size. It's not great, but it's also way better than what we'd receive from the mainline. So overall, I do really like this figure. I think I like the color scheme of my concept a bit more, but I think the sculpt of the Mattel one is very nice, so I think they did a great job with this figure regardless. Next we have the corythosaurus, which I made because everyone wanted a corythosaurus from Mattel very badly, including myself, and so I made this concept to show what it might look like in the Hammond Collection form. I gave it some new articulation and a lot of paint, almost unrealistic amount of paint for what Mattel realistically would do. But here is the figure that we got, or at least the promo images of the figure that we should have got, and this is the corythosaurus looking pretty decent actually in these promo images. The eye color is inaccurate and some of the paint is definitely not as accurate as it could be, but the sculpt overall didn't look too bad. It looks like it's a little bit slimmed down, at least in the face wise, from the Parasaurolophus, if you remember those wide cheeks. This one looked pretty good in the promo images. I thought it had a decent amount of paint as well, until I kind of received this one in hand and I realized some of its flaws. For one, these colors aren't very accurate to the corythosaurus we see in Jurassic Park 3. This undercolor plastic is way too bright, and there's also missing claw paint, missing underbelly paint as well. That just makes it look way less appealing than the promo images, in my opinion. The top is painted nicely though, but the jaw actually is not painted where there's supposed to be skin, so you just have this weird oddly colored beak that doesn't actually go along with the rest of the figure. The eyes are painted really not neat as well. You can see that those are the inaccurate color and they're painted badly, so that's not good at all. And these feet are also a pretty weird wedge shape. The tail, however, is quite long, so I must say that is good. This beefy figure that we got doesn't live up quite to the promo images, in my opinion. But here's my concept compared to the promo images, and overall I think it actually looks pretty good in the promo images. Just the overall figure is not as great, and I think my concept is a little bit better, just because of some of the details that it's missing and my concept included. For the baby T-Rex concept, I wanted to show what Mattel could do to greatly improve this over its previous iterations of this figure. I gave it a lot of paint and a lot of articulation and detail just to show that maybe Mattel could do something awesome and make a good baby T-Rex. And I thought I was really correct about my hypothesis that Mattel would improve this figure drastically when I saw the promo images. I mean, heck, this thing even had like the belt and the bandage for its leg, and I thought this thing looked really awesome, especially with all that paint. You got those airbrushed brown stripes, the proportions don't look too bad, and also that black eye and, you know, just pink accents. I thought this thing was going to be really great, but boy was I wrong once I saw those promo images. Where it's actually in box. This thing looks really bad all painted up. You got that really bad printed texture on the face as well, and the proportions just look super goofy actually on the real figure instead of the promo images. So I think a repaint can revive this thing a little bit, but overall I think my concept is a little bit better compared to the actual final figure, and not as much the promo images, which looked really good in my opinion. And that, guys, was Hammond Concepts versus reality. It was really fun looking back at all of my concepts and seeing what Mattel did compared to what I did with my concepts. Obviously, Mattel's not taking any inspiration from me. They have these things well into production by the time I even made these concepts, but it's still interesting to, you know, kind of hypothesize and then see the final product as well. But as always, guys, this is Jurassic Adventures. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.